Today let's learn about Boxplot. Now Boxplot is actually a tool in order to find out the behavior of a data set. Also, it is used to display the distribution of the data, and if you have outliers in your data, that can be identified by a box plot. Again, what is an outlier? Any data that is different from your given data set is called as an outlier. So Boxplot is mainly used to display the distribution of a given data set. So this is how a box plot looks like. Now all these lines have different meanings, and right now I will explain to you what those lines represent. Now this first line of this rectangular box is your quartile, that is the first quartile. This line is your second quartile, which is also the median. The third line is the third quartile. Okay, now this line represents the maximum value in your data. This line represents the minimum value. Okay, and what are these lines? These lines are called as whisker, which we will come to in detail later when we do a problem. And again, this line is also called as a whisker. Then there is another important thing that you have to understand, that is a point from here to here is nothing but Q3 minus Q1, the difference between two quartiles. And what is the difference between the two quartiles called as? It is called as the interquartile range, or IQR. Okay, now I hope you have understood the major parts of a box plot. Again, there is one more thing that I'm sorry, I've just forgot. There will appear two points, two or more points like these beyond the maximum value, that is beyond this line, and below the minimum value. It can appear, or it's not necessary that it should be there in every data set, but yeah. Now all these points are called as outliers. In a box plot, you represent outliers as these points. Okay, now we'll move to an example and see how to construct a box plot. So during the construction, we have to keep in mind that whenever a data set is given, you have to write it in ascending order and find out these three constants, and then you have to check for the outliers in the next stage. So when you check for the outliers, you have to find out the highest outlier, and the formula for that is this. And the lowest outlier, the formula for that is Q1 minus 1.5 into IQR. IQR is your interquartile range. 1.5 is the length of the whisker. Now this is your data set, and as already said, we can arrange this data set in the ascending order. So when you arrange the data set in ascending order, you will get 17, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 25, 33, 64. Now you can find out the first three values. In order for that, first you find out the median. So your median is nothing but, I hope you know how to do this. So it is Q2. So you can mark your Q2 over here. Q2 is equal to 21. Now you have to find out Q1 from the data set, which is the first 25%. And how will you get that? Yeah, you take the middle value again, 18, by the observation method. What about the Q3? You take the 75 percentile values and you will get the middle value. Take the middle value and you will get Q3 as 25 over here. So Q1 is equal to 18, Q3 is equal to 25. What about the maximum values? You have to find out the maximum and minimum values. So before that you have to find out your whether there is any outliers. So in order to check whether there is any outliers, you have to find out IQR, which is the interquartile range. So Q3 minus Q1 is equal to 7. So your interquartile range Q3 minus Q1 is equal to 7. Then highest, you have to find out the highest outlier. So it is not necessary that it exists in every data set, the highest outlier. So this is equal to Q3 plus 1.5 multiplied by IQR, which is equal to your Q3 is 25 plus 1.5 multiplied by what is IQR? IQR is 7 over here, which is equal to 35.5. So any value beyond this 35.5 is an outlier. So for us, we have in our data set we have 64. So you can mark this here as a point and write it as 64, since this is beyond 35.5 and this is an outlier. Now what about the maximum value? So your maximum value over here is 33. Your maximum value can go up to 35.5, but in this data set you have only up to 33. So your maximum value is 33. So you just write that over here. Okay, now you have to find out the minimum value. Now for that, again you have to seek the help of the finding the lowest outlier, and the formula for that is Q1 minus 1.5 multiplied by IQR. This is equal to Q1 is my 18 minus 1.5 multiplied by 7, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 7.5. Now here you have the minimum value as 17. So there is no value below 7.5. So hence this side there won't be any outliers, and this thing you can mark it as 1.5. These are the whiskers. Okay. What about this? You can write this as the minimum value as what? 7.5, and you don't have any outlier over here. Sorry, not 7.5, it's, you can write this as 17. Okay, yeah. So this is how you construct a box plot. I hope you have understood this. Thank you.